everybody, it's Ellie back here again with another video. Today we're doing the Rindle Rose lot, and I make this one into a sort of woodland cabin, which I thought was really nice. As usual, it is just base game only, no custom content, so sit back, relax and enjoy the build. So for this one, I did end up going back and forth a bit in terms of windows and doors. I wasn't sure what would match the theme that I was going for. So in the end, I did end up going for a nice double door. I went with very brown accents on the panes, and I liked how I turned out with the roof as well. I really did like that. But like I said, I went back and forth a few times. There are a few jump cuts here and there where I spent probably like 10 or 15 minutes doing one thing and I was like, no, that is absolutely awful. And then I started again. I did scrap this build a couple of times as well, but don't worry, you don't have to see that. So as you can see, I was going for the very rustic, very wooden looks in terms of wallpaper and tiling. I liked the dark brick wall that I had on one wall. I wish I could have put it on all the outside walls, but I didn't think it would match that well. So it is just the inside walls and that one wall that's the brick. I went back and forth a bit on the outside pavement. I realised afterwards that you couldn't pave all of the underneath with those platforms, so I did end up just going all the way around with it there. And here is my usual struggle with the roof that I always end up having. So I eventually went for two hipped roofs in a nice little L shape. I went for the farmhouse wooden tiles on the top there, just to give it a nice dark look. Again, like cabin in the woods style, and I popped a little chimney in there as well. Although I can't, yeah, I do a fireplace. I couldn't remember if I did a fireplace then for a second, but yeah, did a nice little fireplace. And here I'm moving on to the landscaping. I liked that I did the landscaping first in the last video. It made me put more effort into it as I had a lot more energy at the beginning, and it just gave a really nice look to the house. And I think I will just start with landscaping in the future because I liked how it turned out. So one thing I will always put in are the planters to give a little bit of skill building, and also if your sim plants good enough flowers, a nice little bit of passive income there. I put a barbecue on the front little patio terrace as well as chairs and table. I sort of used that as a replacement garden because there's not enough room on this lot for an actual garden, so I just popped that stuff there. And one thing I really like doing with the lamps and the outdoor lighting is raising them up so that they can sit on top of the fences. I think that's really neat. So what I'm doing here is just popping in roughly what I wanted in there, and this was just to sort out spacings because it's quite a small build. Eventually I do end up doing like a little L-shaped kitchen, and I thought that was quite nice. And so yeah, it was just popping in stuff so that it was already there and ready to go, and I knew my spacings. So yeah, a very farmhouse looking kitchen, I would say, and it is fully functional as well. You can use the counters for making dishes, and also there is a sink in there as well. So just to finish off the kitchen, I'm just putting an oven hood in there, and I pop in some overhead cabinets as well before moving on to the next room. In this build, I had a bit of difficulty with the living room because it's quite an awkward space, it's quite an awkward shape. I kind of backed myself into a corner with this one. I think I like how it turned out. I'm not 100% sure, but it is a living room and it does have living room things. And I do like that little decoration of the fireplace stokers. I really wanted to put that in there as well. But yeah, the living room is okay, I think. I move stuff around to get things in, but overall I think it's pretty nice. Moving on to the bathroom, it is just a classic normal bathroom, shower tub combo, toilet and sink with the usual toilet paper hanger and the sink, mirror and the towel. Nothing too fancy, just something nice and small. Finally, we have the bedroom with a nice double bed, dresser and two little side tables. I'm not going to lie, I started having a hypoglycemic episode at this point when I was filming, so I can't guarantee for the quality of the rest of the build. I know this room is a bit sparse on reviewing the footage, but I think it was okay, especially considering it was a nice little cabin room as well. And there's the final build. I decided to call it Rosewater Cabin, and it just comes in at under 35,000 simoleons. So thank you so much for watching today, guys. I really do appreciate the time you take. And if you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, but don't worry if not. And I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the free cam view.